So here's another problem. The user enters a random positive number and you're supposed to write a program to determine if the entered number is a 5-digit number or not and display an appropriate message. How do you solve this problem? Now to solve this problem, you should first know what a 5-digit number is. On the number scale, a 5-digit positive number is any number that lies in between and includes 10,000 all the way up to 99,999. Unfortunately, with the if statement, you cannot write something like this. That's not valid. So in this case, you would want to split up your if statements. For example, let's assume that the user enters the number using scanf. Okay, I'm going to write my first if statement, which says if my number is greater than or equal to 10,000. That's not good enough for the number to be 5-digit. It should also be less than or equal to 99,999. Then I will say printf 5-digit, else. So if the initial if condition passes or the outer if passes and if the inner if fails, then I can say that printf not 5 digits, and I can close the if block. Now, what if the initial if condition fails? So what if I enter a number which is less than 10,000? Let's say I enter 8,000. In this case, you're not even going to enter the if block, which is why you need another else block outside which says not 5 digits. So this is another way of writing if and else, or this is how you can nest if and else statements. Now, let's say you have written this code and you're asked to check this code very thoroughly, which means that give it some inputs so that you can stress it up to its maximum. So what are the test cases that you would that you would look for in this case? So the first test case would be run the program and input a number which is less than 10,000. You should get the output saying not 5 digits. Second would be input a number which is greater than 99,999. Again, you should get the same output saying it is not 5 digits. Next, enter the number which is in between 10,000 and 99,999. In this case, you should get it's a 5-digit number. Now, there are two more test cases that you would want to check. The first is check the left extreme. So test for 10,000. And the reason you want to do that is because programmers make common mistakes here, where instead of using greater than or equal to and less than or equal to, they just simply use greater than or less than. So they ignore the extremes, which is why a good tester will always check for these scenarios. The other test case would be test for the right extreme, and in these three cases it should say 5-digit number, and these two test cases it should say not a 5-digit number. So as you can see, we have written the nested if and else statements, but there is a much more easier way to write this program, and you can do that using a single if and else. With that, we enter logical operators.